Hello friend, welcome to you on my video tutorial series Window Programming using C Sharp Part 2. In this section, we are going to discuss some points like platform independent, C Sharp versus .NET platform, CLR, structure of C Sharp program, assembly, namespace, window programming using C Sharp, IDE, forms, basics, controls, properties, events, etc. So first we start with platform independent. What is platform independent? Simply using any programming language when you are developing some program in one machine and compiling it, and then this compiled code you can transfer to another machine and that machine execute it. So it is a technology that you can use to implement things on one machine and use them on another machines without changes. It's called platform independent. Let's understand it by using some example. I'm considering C and C++ language. What is happening in C++ language? Is C++ platform independent? Look here, C's code, source code, and C compilers compile it. I am taking one example here. Let us suppose we are using window platform, window machines, and I am writing C code here. My C compiler, which is available in window, compile it into platform dependent native code, executive code, which can only understand by that Windows. What about these two, Linux platform and Mac platform? If you are trying to run this compiled code in Linux machine or in Mac machine, the your program can't be executed. So when you design your application in window platform, then if it is not able to run on another platform, then it is called platform dependent. This is platform dependent. So C and C++ language is platform dependent. Now in case of Java programming, what is happening there? Java source code, Java compiler, Java compiler compiled these source code into bytecode called class files, and these class files can be transferred to any machines having either Linux, Windows, Mac. Each machine have their own JVM, Java Virtual Machine, which translate it into corresponding native language. So what is happening in Java case? Java source code compiled by Java compiler and it generates intermediate code bytecodes, and after that these byte code you can distribute to any of the machines. It doesn't matter which kind of operating systems it has. So your Java code can be executed by any machine. You are developing one machine and can run this program in any machine. How it is possible? Because each machine have their own JVM, Java Virtual Machine, which converts these byte codes into further their corresponding native languages, native codes. So Java is a platform independent. Java is a platform independent language. In our C sharp, I am studying here C sharp. What is happening here? C sharp is designed to be platform independent language in the tradition of Java. Here, in case of a JVM, common language runtime, CLR is here, just equal to JVM in case of Java. So I am going to teach with this structure. Your C sharp project, C sharp source file, C sharp compiler creates a managed assembly MSIL metadata, Microsoft Intermediate Language. It is just equivalent to bytecode in Java. And here a .NET framework. In .NET framework, there is a very important component CLR, which convert these intermediate language into corresponding native code of that system where the .NET framework is available. So in this case, each machine have their .NET framework in which CLR is available, and this CLR is responsible to convert their intermediate language to machine dependent native code. So this is the way by which we can say that C sharp is also a platform independent language. In C sharp, one more thing is there C sharp with this structure I am trying to teach you. C sharp code, VB.NET code, C++ code. .NET platform supports many programming languages. There is a C sharp compiler for C sharp code, VB.NET compiler for VB.NET code, C++ compiler for C++ code. These compilers converts the source code into intermediate language code corresponding to that particular language, either C sharp, VB.NET, C++. And the common language runtime is responsible to understand any kind of language and convert them into a neutral executable code which is dependent on that particular operating system native code. This is the basic architectures and component stack of .NET platform, .NET framework. CLR, FCL, Window Forms, ASP.NET, ADO.NET. This is the main basic section, basic architecture. And here some more components added after developing higher versions, version 3.0 of platform .NET Framework. In version 3.5, link LINQ entity framework. In version 4.0, paralleling task parallel library. And in version 4.5, .NET API task-based asynchronous model. These are components added in newer versions of the basic architecture. We will discuss this further tutorials. These are some in brief about the components of the architectures. You can read out from this. I am not going to discuss further about this. I am taking this CLR, main components, CLR, the heart of the .NET framework. It is a runtime environment called Common Language Runtime. The CLR manages the life cycle and executes .NET application code. It also provides services that make the development process easier. CLR includes class loader, just-in-time compiler, code manager, and garbage collector. It also have main two components, CTS and CLS. These two components are responsible for type safety and cross-language communications. Cross-language communication means .NET framework, .NET framework supports more than one programming language. You can choose any one of the programming language and build your application. It doesn't matter for CLR. CLR can understand any language, but how it is possible? It is only possible due to CTS and CLS, common type system and common language specification components of CLR. Now, the structure of C# program console application. Even I am not interested in this tutorial with console application, but you should understand the structure of console application. Now we further move to window based application. Try to understand this console application structure. When you are writing C# code, this program is only displaying a hello message. Here the first line is using system. Using system. What is the meaning of this using system? It is just like importing something within your program. Here system is a namespace, using is a keyword, just like a import. In C, C++, we are using include keyword. In Java, import. In C# you are using keyword. Whenever you want to import some library or some namespaces within your class, within your program, application program, we should use using keyword. Namespace, I will discuss further. Namespace. Class is a keyword for creating class. You are familiar with this. Static void main string and console write, console read key. Here it is the main function, entry point of C# program. Console write line, just like a print command. In C, printf. C++, cout. Java, system.out.println. And console.read key to hold the screen. It is similar in C language getch to hold the screen to see the output of the current application. This is another example where I am displaying the keywords, important keywords. You can understand. Now, what is namespace? In simple word, it is just a collection of related classes. To manage the similar type of classes within a bundle, you can create a class, you can create a namespace in which you can collect the similar type of classes. That is called namespace. You can create your own namespace, keep your classes files there, and if you want to import these file, if you want to use this file in your another applications, you can import. So namespace help us to our classes so that they can be easily accessed by any other application. One more term, assembly. Either it is working behind the scene, it works automatically, but you should understand what is assembly, and sometimes in the interviews it this questions are important. An assembly is a file that is automatically generated by the compiler upon successful compilation of every .NET application. It can be either a DLL file, that is dynamic link library, or exe file, executable file. Means when you are writing C# program and compiling it, then it will generate assembly code, assembly. Your assembly will be either DLL file or exe file. If within your class there is a main method, then it will generate application file or exe assembly. And if within your class there is no main method, only only user defined methods, not main methods, then it will generate DLL type of assembly, DLL assembly. Your assembly can be two types, public assembly and private assembly. Public means used for multiple applications, also called shared assembly, and private assembly used by only one application. By default, all assemblies you create are example of private assembly. So you can read more about by using this tutorial. Now C# Visual Studio IDE. IDE means integrated development environments. You are good you are getting a environments where you can write your source code, able to compile it and also run it. such a platform is called, such an environment is called integrated development environments. C Sharp is designed for building a variety of applications that run on the .NET framework. Before you start learning more about C Sharp programming, it is important to understand the development environments and identify some of the frequency using programming tools in the Visual Studio IDE. There are some main points: menu bar, standard toolbar, toolbox, form designer, output window, solution explorer, and property windows. These are the main components of IDE, Visual Studio IDE. I will explain it by using opening software. But before going to software, we try to understand another terms, window forms. Very important terms, form, when you are going to develop GUI based application in Visual Studio. Form 1 open defaultly, and this is a design section where you can design your GUI. And when this is in running mode, your form is in execution mode, then it is called window. So window form is a graphical user interface class library which is bundled in .NET framework. Form 1 is actually a class having a GUI design section. A form 1 has design section. It is a class. Actually it is a class, and within this class you can drag and drop these components for designing purpose. Its main purpose is to provide an easier interface to develop the application for desktop. When another term, SDI and MDI, when you are going to develop GUI based application, it is a single document interface and multiple document interface, SDI versus MDI. A multiple document interface MDI programs can display multiple child windows inside them. Here I am displaying form 1, and within this form 1, form 2 and form 3. Form 2 and form 3 are child form of this form 1. Form 2 cannot move outside the form 1. Similar, form 3 cannot move outside the form 1. If it is the situation when this form can't be moved outside from form 1, then it is called MDI, multiple document interface. In multiple document interface, there is a main form and a lot of child forms resides within that main form. But if you are going to develop SDI based application, in this case there are a lot of forms and each form can be moved anywhere on your screen. Notepad is an example of SDI. Notepad. We will see it practically. Another term is toolbox. The toolbox contains a selection of all the controls available to you as a .NET developers. Here, some basic controls by which you can create a design as per your requirement. We will use it in our mini project, then you can understand. Window form controls are objects that are contained within form objects. Each type of control has its own set of properties, methods, and events that make it suitable for a particular purpose. Like button is a control, form control. We can drag and drop it within form, and that button means a control have their own set of properties, method, and events by which we can control it. Most of the .NET controls derive from the system Windows form control class. So there is a base class control for all controls available in this toolbox. These are some important properties for controls by which we can control the behaviors of that particular control, like anchor, back color, bottom, dock, enabled, for color, left, name, parent, right, tab index, tab top, visible width, etc. All of these we can understand by taking some example when we are going to create mini project. In a similar manner, there is a term events. When a user clicks a button or press a button, you as the programmer of the application want to be told that this is has happened. To do so, controls uses events. You know, when you are clicking on some button, then the click is an event, mouse event. Double click, drag drop. In case of a text, when you are selecting a text, the select is event. When you changing some text, the change is event. Even when your form is loading first time, then the form load is a event. So these are a lot of events. All we can understand only with the help of practicals. So we try to understand all of them with the help of practicals. So we have to start Visual Studio, and I'm doing this with the help of a mini project having name login and registration system. We will do this practical work in our next tutorial. Okay, thank you.